take it away in full spectrum color.
When it happened to TV, it was a momentous occasion, and plenty of us celebrated the shift from black and white e-readers to color too, which only happened back in 2024. So is a color e-reader worth it? What does it bring to the table, really? What's the secret sauce behind Amazon's Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition in particular? And what happens when this happens?
I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets International, and in this video I'll talk about what you're getting with this e-reader with the higher price tag. Things like extra storage, auto-adjusting brightness, and even Qi wireless charging. Plus, I'll compare this version to some of the other Kindle options out there. I'll wrap things up by going over both the pros and the cons of this device so you can see if it might be right for you. I'll let you know up front that Amazon supplied a Kindle to me on a 3-week loan for my review, but it didn't ask for or receive permission to have any input into my content, so these thoughts are all my own.
Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition has a 7-inch glare-free display and a lightweight design weighing just under 8 ounces or about 220 grams. Amazon pitch with the Colorsoft was pretty simple. Enjoy the Kindle Store's extensive library of books where you can finally see the covers in color, along with any colored graphic novels or comics you might own in the Amazon ecosystem.
The new color screen here uses what's called e-ink Kaleido color technology. And I know in the TV lights that I've got around here, it's probably hard to see much color in this screen. That e-ink Kaleido color technology is used in other e-readers, but Amazon has made some tweaks to it in hopes of improving things like the page turning performance.
I can already confirm that while some other e-readers do flash the screen every time you tap to turn a page, the Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition is infinitely smoother, a lot less distracting for sure.
I'll cover off a few of the features of your typical Kindle before diving into some of the specifics of the Colorsoft Signature Edition here.
Kindle e-readers are quite simple devices for the most part. They're purpose-built for reading books, but you can customize your reading experience quite a bit. There's adjustable brightness, warmth, adjustable fonts, and text size, as well as customizable orientation, alignment, margins, and more. It may be worth pointing out that the Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition does also offer 2 color styles called Standard and Vivid, but in all honesty, I didn't notice a major difference between those settings. While there is also a very simple web browser for quick lookups, the focus here is on distraction-free reading. So what's it like using this color e-reader? Some may call the display muted, while others might find it newspaper-like.
The truth about a device like this is that the color really only comes into play when you're browsing your library or the bookstore. Here you can view book covers in color, yes, but you should know it's in a watercolor wash of pastels. Plus, when you're reading the average ebook, because it's black ink on light paper, the color that you paid for doesn't really come into play. So my advice is to think long and hard about how much seeing book covers in color is actually worth to you. Or if you are more into things like graphic novels, then perhaps this would be a good use case to pick up the Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition.
But the truth about reading things like graphic novels or comics on one of these is that it's not easy on a screen this small. When the page is shown full size, the print is smaller than my pinky fingernail. Yes, you can zoom in to some extent, but the zoom feature is kind of glitchy and imperfect. The screen flashes and it doesn't zoom very accurately, so trying to move around the page is kind of unpleasant. For those who aren't familiar with Kindle devices, the rest of the Colorsoft specs are par for the course. It comes with Wi-Fi, so you can buy and download books without needing a separate device, and it has Bluetooth too, so you can actually pair it with a speaker or headphones for playing back your Audible audiobooks. And every Kindle Colorsoft does come with a USB-C charging cable, but not a power adapter. Kindle Colorsoft Signature Edition also has an IPX waterproof rating, allowing submersion in up to 2 meters of fresh water. Naturally, I had to test this out and found that dunking it into the water, even with its exposed USB-C charging port, didn't seem to affect it, but it is a good idea to let that port dry out fully before attempting to charge it again.
Before I get into the Colorsoft's main features, I would like to point out the features that are exclusive to the Signature Edition. Knowing these differences is important so you can decide whether or not you should spend more money for this particular device.
The biggest feature is the extra front sensor that will automatically adjust your screen brightness as long as you have the setting toggled on. You can see this in action here in my video, where depending on if I have it in the light or move it under the desk, it automatically adjusts. This feature may also help extend its battery life too. Another big feature of the ColorSoft Signature Edition is the 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is double the standard Kindle. 16 gigs may sound like a lot of storage given how small typical ebooks are, but remember, you're getting the ColorSoft to read books in color, and graphic novels and comics do consume far more disk space, so 32 gigs here in the Signature will come in handy.
Since the Kindle ColorSoft lacks any option for expandable storage, I recommend that avid readers do go for the Signature Edition.
One of the great things about a Kindle is you can always count on months of use on a single charge, and this version is no different. With up to 8 weeks of battery life or 2 months, it is extremely low maintenance. ColorSoft Signature Edition also has wireless charging, and that should boost it back to full power within about 3 hours.
And speaking of recharging, you guys that are watching are the Qi wireless chargers to my Kindle ColorSoft, and I could really use your support and your energy. If you are enjoying this video or finding the content helpful, consider becoming a channel member so you can request specific reviews or send me a super thanks. My channel is self-funded, so your support helps me keep things running and helps me keep making helpful videos like the one you're watching now. If funds are tight, I get it. In that case, I'd just love to see a post from you in the comments telling me what you liked about this video. Thanks.
Even if you're sold on the idea of reading Kindle books in color, understand that the ColorSoft Signature Edition isn't simply a Kindle Paperwhite signature with a splash of color. Amazon's new 7-inch ColorSoft display doesn't quite have the same contrast ratio as a traditional Kindle when it comes to those basic black and white books. And because of how Amazon designed the display in the ColorSoft Signature, you can't just turn off the color and end up with the Kindle Paperwhite.
Battery life is another compromise. As I noted, Amazon estimates up to about 8 weeks of battery life on the ColorSoft Signature Edition, which is still huge compared to a traditional tablet and still longer than the original Kindle. But if you frequently read a lot of basic monochrome books and you don't have much interest in things like graphic novels, the Kindle Paperwhite will give you extra mileage up to 12 weeks of battery.
If you were hoping Amazon might bring some Kindle Oasis DNA back in the form of page turn buttons, you'll be disappointed since there are none on the Signature. That means you'll have to use those screen tap gestures, which I'm totally fine with since I found the buttons to be kind of superfluous when I reviewed the Oasis a couple years ago. ColorSoft Signature also doesn't support using a stylus or any notebook features, of course, so you'll have to settle for the pricier Kindle Scribe, which itself lacks a color version at the time of this video. And if you want to check out my full review of the Scribe, Oasis, or any other Kindle devices, they are right here on the channel.
The last thing I'll mention by way of comparison is, of course, a Kindle Fire tablet can give you better colors, but you do get the harsh screen glare and shorter battery life as well.
Overall, there are a lot of pluses to the new Kindle ColorSoft Signature Edition. Whether they make it worth the price for you will come down to your own personal priorities.
Let's go over both the pros and the cons to see if this Kindle might be right for you.
On the pro side, it does offer color. Folks with a big Kindle library who want to view covers, charts, or graphics in color will get just what's advertised. I really thought the auto-adjusting screen brightness worked incredibly well. The 7-inch screen size is compact but easy to read and makes it highly portable, so great for travelers. Kindles are easy to set up and easy to use, and with many options for customization too. The battery life, even on this color version, is good, delivering about 2 months of life per charge. Plus, with the wireless charging option now, that makes it easier to keep it topped up. And with the new bigger storage capability at 32 gigabytes, that means you can keep a lot more books on hand. I also found the new page turning tech to be far smoother. So what are the potential downsides? Battery life might be a concern if you're used to previous Kindles, which can go up to 3 or 4 months on a charge. Critics may also find the use of color in the Signature Edition here to be too infrequent, like just on the covers, and they may also think it's too washed out. Plus, the small page size on some graphic novels and the glitchy zoom might not make it worth it. And speaking of worth it, I think the other detractor for people could be the higher price. Selling for about $279 US or $309 Canadian, it is an expensive e-reader.
If you want to check out some of the other options, you can see my reviews of other Kindle devices or see what the competition is doing right now.